Alright, I think the chat should be working now. Yeah, chat should be working. Cool. Alright, I think we are going to get started. We have 3 people in the stream right now, so I think we can go ahead and start. I'm going to go ahead and set a timer. We are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. The table above shows some values of x and their corresponding values of y. Which of the following shows a possible relationship? Okay, so I see that every time this goes up 1, the x values go up 1, we're going up, let's see, we go 1, 1, 1, which means that the slope is going to be 1, so it's not c and it's not d, right, because m represents our slope. And then the y-intercept is 2 because that occurs at when x equals 0, so the answer is going to be A. Alright, number 2. In the figure above, line J is parallel to line K and line L is parallel to line M. What is the value of x? So these angles are going to be the same, which means x is going to be 40. Cool. Function f is defined by f of x equals x squared minus 5x squared plus 6. What is the value of f of 4? Okay, plug in 4 for x. So let's see, we get 4 squared minus 5 times 4 plus 6. It's going to be 16 minus 20 plus 6. That's going to be negative 4 plus 6 equals 2. Option B. Alright. A race league can spend up to a total of $20 on streamers and balloons for a party. Streamers cost $1.49 per pack. Okay, so 1.49 S. And balloons cost $4.39. So $4.39 for balloons. Which of the following represents the situation? Okay, and then she can spend a total of $20. So this quantity that she spends total must be less than or equal to 20. So the answer is going to be B. Alright. Bill is planning to drive 1,000 miles to visit his family. If he plans to drive 250 miles per day, which of the following represents the remaining distance d in miles that Bill will have to drive to reach his family after driving for n days? Okay. I can tell you the answer is going to be D, and that's because, remember, this is really just a line in the form y equals mx plus b, where b is your starting value. In this case, 1,000 is going to be our starting value, right, because we have 1,000 miles to drive. And then if we plug in any number of days here, that's going to give us the remaining miles. We'll have to, the remaining miles that he has to drive, right? So let's say he drives for 2 days. We get 1,000 minus 250 times 2, which is just 500. So he's going to have to drive 500 more miles. Cool. All right, which of the following is equivalent to the given expression? So this is just an adding like terms problem. So we have x to the third plus x squared, and then these x's are going to cancel out, so we're going to get rid of those. So it's going to be C. Cool. Alright, the table gives some values of x and their corresponding values of f of x for the polynomial function f. Which of the following could be the graph of f in the xy plane where y equals f of x? Alright, so we see that we get a intercept here, 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 and here. Alright, so let's see, how can we determine which one? So the first thing I'm going to do is look at y-intercept. So here our y-intercept is 2. So we know that our y-intercept has to be, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So then it has to be at that point, meaning this is not our answer. Now let's look at our other criteria. Which of the following could be the graph of f in the xy plane where y equals f of x? Alright, well, I noticed that when we are at -4, we're pretty close to 10. They don't have that option here. Let's see. Alright, we're just going to go through each point and then make sure that it's on one of the graphs. So which of these graphs has the point 1, 7? Well, let's see. 1, 7. Sure. That probably has the point 1, 7. I'd say that looks pretty right. Because remember, this is going by 2, so 1 is going to be in the middle. This does not look like 1, 7. That's a little too low. That's out. Let's see what else. And then this one is going to have 1, that could be 1, 7 as well, I think. So I think it's going to be in between these two for now. Now the main difference is this point here at -1, right? So here at -1 we're at about, I want to say 3, but here we're all the way at 2, 4, 6. So let's look at -2. So the point -2, we're at -2. So that means their answer is going to be -2. We are at -2. Let's see. -2. We are at. Ooh, this is interesting. All right. Here, let's erase all these marks. We know that C and B aren't the answer. Let's go ahead and look at this again. So at -1, we're going to be at the point 3. So let's see if we are at point 3. So -1, 3. I think this looks right to me. -1, 3. And then let's look at this one over here. So it's going to be -1. Ooh, this one looks right too, though. Okay, so that they both meet that criteria. And then -2, -2 is going to be a point. So let's see, -2. Oops. -2, -2. That's not a point there, unfortunately. But that is a point here, right? This is -2, -2. So the answer is going to be D. Cool. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to the expression, whatever. Okay, cancel out an x plus 2 because we have x plus 2 and then x plus 2 squared. So we're going to cancel 1. So then we get 1 over x plus 2. So it's going to be B. Which of the following is an equation of the line in the xy plane that contains those points? All right, let's go ahead and solve for the slope by using the slope formula. So I'm going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'll call this point 2 and point 1. So we get 15 minus 3 over 5 minus 1. That's going to be 12 over 4, which is a slope of 3. So it's going to be A, because this is the only one with a slope of 3. Alright, in the given equation, B is a constant. If the equation has infinitely many solutions, what is the value of B? Okay, infinitely many solutions mean we're going to have, this means we're going to have the same slope and the same y-intercept for both lines. So let's go ahead and multiply by 2 on both sides to get rid of that fraction. 4x plus B is going to equal 2x, oops, sorry, we multiplied by 2, so it's going to be 4x plus 16. What is the value of B if we have infinitely many? So remember, same slope, we have the same slope. Now we need the same y-intercept, so B has to equal 16. Answer's D. Alright, what is the area in square units of the figure shown? I'm going to break it up into two little shapes here. So we have this area right here, which is just going to be the area of a square, which is 4 times 4, 16. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the area of this triangle. We know this base is 3, right? So we do base times height, which is 3 times 4. So we get 12 divided by 2. 16 plus 6 is 22. What is the y-intercept of the graph? Okay, y-intercept occurs when x is 0. Plug in 0 for x. Y equals 4 to the 0. Anything to the 0th power is 1, so y equals 1. Cool. What is the sum of solutions to the given equation? All right, I'm going to subtract over 2x and subtract over 1. So we get x squared minus 16x minus 39. All right, and then there's a trick. Sum of solutions is going to be negative b over a, so that's going to be negative 16 over 1, and then that's just going to be positive 16, or option D. 16 minutes to go. When the speed of an object approaches the speed of light, okay, I'm not even going to read all this. We just need to solve for v, it looks like. So let's write down our equation. L equals s root 1 minus v squared over c squared. All right. Oh, no. We need to solve for v. Let's square both sides. L squared equals s squared times 1 minus v squared over c squared. Let's divide by s squared. So L squared over s squared equals 1 minus v squared over c squared. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1. So I get L squared over s squared minus 1 equals negative v squared over c squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply by negative 1 here. So I get 1 minus L squared over s squared equals v squared over c squared. I'm going to multiply by c squared. So c squared times 1 minus L squared over s squared equals v squared. And now I'm going to take the square root of that. And remember, this is going to be the same thing. Square root of both sides, that way I can solve for v. So this is going to be the same thing as saying c, right? Because c squared, this is going to be the root of c squared times the root of 1 minus L squared over s squared. And the root of c squared is just going to be c. So we get c times the root of 1 minus L squared over s squared equals v. That should be option A. Cool. The half-life of a certain substance in an aquatic environment is about 150 years. Which of the following experimental functions best models the amount of substance that remains T years after 200 grams of the substance is applied to the aquatic environment? Okay. The half-life is the length decreased to 1/2 that amount. Interesting. So, the half-life of a certain substance in an aquatic environment is about 150 years. Okay, interesting. So I think our answer is going to be this one right here, D, and I'll tell you why. Let's say we start with 200 grams, right, of our substance. If we plug in, if the half-life is 150 years, and the half-life is the time it takes to get half of our starting amount of grams, if we plug in 150 for T here, we get 150 over 150, which is just 1, right, because anything over itself is 1. So then we get 200 times 1/2. Which is 100. So the answer is going to be D. Tricky problem. On to the free response. The graph of y equals mx plus b, where m and b are constants, is shown in the xy plane. Starfighter XIV, bonjour. Hi Starfighter, how's it going? The graph of y equals mx plus b, where m and b are constants, is shown. What is the value of m? Alright, we're just looking for the slope, right? So let's go ahead and draw a rise over run triangle, slope triangle. So we get the rise is 1, 2, 3, 4. And our run is going to be 2. So that's going to be 4 over 2, which is 2. Awesome. If xy is a solution to the given system of equations, what is the value of y? Alright, we're going to go ahead and multiply this top equation by 2. And I'm going to get 2. Oops, sorry. I'll multiply by negative 2. Negative 2x minus 2y equals negative 10. And then I get 2x equals 5. Add these together. These x's are going to cancel. So we get minus 2y equals negative 5. We're going to divide by negative 2 on both sides. And we get that y is equal to 5 over 2. Awesome. What positive value of x satisfies the equation above? 3. Right, because if I plug in 3 here, it'll be 3 minus 3, which is 0, times everything of this is just going to be 0. You can also get negative 1. That could work. Yeah, that should be it. Those two answers work for that problem. Alright, what value of x satisfies the equation above? Add over the 0.6. Oops, 0.6. Add over 0.6. So we get 3x is equal to 2.4. Divide by 3. Oops, not 0.08. That should be 0.8. And we can verify that too, because 3 times 0.8 is going to be 2.4 minus 0.6 is 1.8. Check. Alright, a square is inscribed in a circle with radius 6 root 2 inches. What is the perimeter of the square? Alright, let's go ahead and draw this out. So a square is inside of a circle. Let's draw the circle first. And then let's go ahead and draw a square inside of the circle. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be good enough, I think. Good enough for our purpose. So I'm going to mark the center of both of these with a little circle, a dot. What is a perimeter? Alright, so the circle has a radius 6 root 2. Alright, so if I drew from the center of the circle out to one of its edges, that's the radius, right? And that's going to be 6 root 2. This is going to be 6 root 2 as well. And then let's see what we can do here. If we add those two together, 6 root 2 plus 6 root 2, I'm going to go ahead and call this whole side 12 root 2. And then this is going to be a 45, 45, 90. 45 degrees, and 90 degrees. And if we scroll all the way back to our equation sheet right here, we get that a 45 and 45, 90 is s root 2, s, and s. So we need to solve for s, knowing that the hypotenuse is s root 2. So if the hypotenuse, 12 root 2, equals s root 2, we can divide by root 2, and we get that 12 is s. So we know that this side is 12, and this side is 12. What is the perimeter of the square? Well, the perimeter of the square is just going to be 12 times 4. So we have a 12 here, a 12 here, a 12 here, and a 12 here. So it's going to be 48. Stop the timer. 9 minutes left. It's pretty good. We did finish this pretty good. 48. Yep, you got the answer, Starfighter. You got the answer. If you're on the real test, go back and check your answers, because you can never be too careful on the SAT. You can never be too careful. I can check my answers pretty quickly here. So slope of 1, good. This is going to be 42. Yep. I think these all make sense to me. What is it? Okay, cool. Yep, I think this is pretty good for a no calculator section. I did do that pretty quickly. Nice run. 9 minutes to spare. Yep. Usually on the SAT, I like to aim for a no calculator section. Like if I'm on the real test, I would aim for about 10 minutes to spare, if possible, but it really just depends on how fast you do these problems and the difficulty of the test. Can you do a calc section stream soon or rating? Yeah, I can definitely do that. I'm thinking of doing a calc section stream soon as well. I could even do one today. I can finish the rest of this test potentially. I don't know if you guys would like to see that though. Also, you guys, definitely, I'm gonna stop this timer because we already finished. Take that off. Also, you guys, be sure to check out my TikTok, because we had a video go absolutely nuclear. It had like 200,000 views or something like that. Yeah, it's at Seabass the Tutor. Here, I'll type it in. That's my TikTok. Go check that out. We had a video literally blow up so much. I couldn't even believe it. I got like 5,000 followers off it, or 4.5k. It was crazy. So I'm definitely going to be posting on there a lot more. Do you guys have any questions for me? Yeah, Starfighter. It was so like unexpected too. Like I opened my phone after sleeping that night and I had like 1,000 followers or something. It was crazy. It was nuts. So I think a lot of people from there have also subscribed to my YouTube here, which is nice because then we get to grow the community and stuff. What practice test? This is March 2020. It should be in the title if I'm not mistaken. I hope it's in the title. Yeah. How long does it usually take me to do a no calc section? It'll usually take me like, I want to say like 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes to do a no calc section, and then a calc section usually will take me like 30 minutes, around there, something like that. But what I'll probably end up doing is I'm gonna end this stream and then restart a stream doing the calculator section. That way I'm kind of I'm able to split these videos up into two for people that are watching on YouTube, and then I'll just keep streaming. So yeah, I'll probably do that. Thank you to everybody that tuned into this stream. I'll be streaming in a few seconds, I believe, the calculator section, so if you guys want to watch that, you can. But other than that, peace.